All right, friends, today we're going to do another read aloud, and this time we're going to read Mrs. Smith's Incredible Storybook by Michael Garland. Now, if we look here on the cover, we can see that this person, I believe that's Mrs. Smith, is holding this storybook, and when she opened it, look at all these lights that come out. I wonder if it's going to come to life or not. Then you can see here, there's children who are looking at her ready to read, but behind her, those don't look like children. They look like characters, maybe from a story. So let's find out what happens. Says, it was the first day of school. Zach was waiting for his teacher to arrive. Boring, he thought. Why would this year be any different from the last one? Then the door swung open. Good morning, class. My name is Miss Smith, and I am your new teacher. Oh, let's see what Miss Smith looks like. Oh, wow. Definitely does not look like any teachers at our school. Look, she even has lightning bolts on her glasses. She has a cool, interesting dress, a leather jacket. Ooh, I wonder if that's the storybook. Miss Smith seemed very different from Zach's other teachers, but the day went along like every school day Zach could remember until Miss Smith said, it's story time. And when she sat at her desk and started to read from the book that she had brought with her, Zach couldn't believe his eyes. The storybook characters came to life, and the classroom was swept up in a swashbuckling pirate tale. Whoa, so she was reading about pirates, and now look, they jumped out of the book. Ooh. Whoa. Says Zach and the rest of his class were right in the middle of the story. He could feel the breeze in his hair and hear the waves pounding the side of the ship. Oh, look, they're still in class, but it's not a normal classroom. They're on a pirate ship. It's almost like they're in the story. Ooh, it's different now. From then on, Zach couldn't wait to go to school. Every day there was a new story to look forward to. When Miss Smith finished reading, all the characters in the adventure whooshed right back into the book. That's what the whoosh. So I guess after she finishes a story, they go right back into the book. Ooh, who can tell me what story that this is from? If you said Little Red Riding Hood, then you are correct. Oh no, I hope he doesn't get him. Oh, this is different. On Friday, Principal Rittenrotten stood in front of the class instead of Miss Smith. Miss Smith is stuck in traffic, so she asked me to read to you until she arrives, he announced. Zach wondered what would happen next. Principal Rittenrotten started to read, and Zach grinned when a princess leaped out of the book, followed closely by a fire-breathing dragon and a brave knight on his horse. Whoa! Oh no, he does not look happy. Principal Rittenrotten was so surprised that all he can do is scream and throw the book in a fright. I'm going for help! He called over his shoulder as he ran out the door. Oh, look at that. He must have been really scared. But the kids don't look scared. They're just looking at the story. Let's see what happens. But before Zach could think of anything to do, Sue Ann pounced on the storybook. But she didn't finish the dragon story. She started reading another one instead. The princess, the dragon, and the knight, they did not return to the book, but the three bears and the Goldilocks climbed right out. Uh-oh. Since they didn't finish that story, they're still out. And now they started another story. Uh-oh. Freddie, the class clown, jumped out of his seat and tried to yank the book away. When Sue Ann let go, he tumbled backward and the book flew across the room and the whole class laughed. Uh-oh. But Billy caught the book and started reading from a news story. And Zach shook his head in amazement when the Mad Hatter, the Cheshire Cat, and Alice popped out to join the others. Ooh, who could tell me what story that those three characters are from? If you said Alice in Wonderland, then you are correct. Oh no, but all these characters keep coming out. Whoa! As the book passed from kid to kid, one character after another flew out of the pages. The classroom was getting very crowded, and this is trouble, Zach said to himself. The chaos was beginning to spill out into the halls. Why don't you finish the stories? Zach pleaded, but no one was listening. Yeah, because remember, if you don't finish the stories, the characters don't go back. So that means all the characters are roaming wild. They're going crazy because they won't go back in the book. Miss Smith brought her car to a screeching stop in front of the school. Uh-oh. There seems to be a little problem, she said to herself as she raced inside. Oh, she's running in because look how crazy it's getting at the school. There's characters everywhere. Meanwhile, Zach was shouting, "We have to finish the story so the characters will go back into the book!" But the storybook characters didn't want to go back. So a tug of war began. They're fighting over the book. The characters don't want to get back into the book, but the kids are like, "We need to put them back." Miss Smith appeared in the doorway. With one look, she let everyone know she meant business. Even the dragon was suddenly silent. So that means she was letting everyone know she's in charge. Everyone stopped. And look, Zach still has the book in his hand. I wonder what he's going to do. Zach handed the book back to Miss Smith. She ruffled through the pages, adjusted her glasses, and started to read. The class sat spellbound as she finished each story in turn. With a swirl and a whoosh, one character after another disappeared into the book until the classroom was quiet and tidy again. Oh, so that means she had to go back and read every story so that all the characters will go back into the book. Wow. She definitely did save the day. Principal Rittenrotten and his team of firefighters skidded to a halt at the door, just as Miss Smith closed her book. "May I help you, Principal Rittenrotten?" asked Miss Smith, but the principal couldn't seem to answer. He just stared at the quiet class with his mouth wide open. Miss Smith flashed a secret smile at her class, and Zach smiled right back. You can see he smiled. Who would ever have guessed that reading could be so much fun? Oh, look at that. Now she's standing in front of her class. So, guys, this is a story that can definitely tell you that when you read a book or you listen to your teacher read a book, use your imagination. Use your head and think about all the things that are happening in the book. Because just as you can see in the story, like how the characters come to life, they can come to life in your head. All right? You can picture the words and picture what's happening in the story. Now, if you look closely at this picture, do you think everyone made it back in the book? Oh, look, a bear. He was hiding. I don't think he went back. Oh, no. All right, friends, go ahead and rewatch this as many times as you want, and make sure that you try to follow along as I read. All right, enjoy.